Good morning, Brooklyn. Good morning, Arshad. Kind of hard to get up and come back to work, isn't it, today after break, huh? Is for me. Good morning, Jamarian. How you doing, Jamarian? Did you have a good break? Arshad, Brooklyn, did you have a good break? What'd y'all do? It was okay. Did you get to explore any new games, Jamarian? No new games. Arshad, did you have to work? Did you have to go into work over break? Brooklyn, do you work? I forget. I know I've asked you that question. Right. That's right. That's right. I remember now. All right. Well, we'll see who remembers to join us this morning. We'll give him another couple of minutes. So, in the meantime, you guys, check out my background. We're going to start out today thinking about Spain. Right. So, think about one thing you may know about Spain other than the fact that they speak Spanish. What do we know about Spain? And if you don't know anything about Spain, then that's your answer. I don't know anything about Spain. So, Marion, what do you know about Spain? Arshad? Other than they speak Spanish, what do we know about Spain? Okay. Well, again, while we wait for folks to join us, do we know where it is? Like what continent? Yes, Arshad, absolutely. Absolutely, it is. Mm-hmm. Do we know what continent it's on? Without Googling? Yeah. So, Arshad, what are some of the team names? Do you know some of the team names? Yeah, they're very big on sports. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I see you. Yes, I do see you in Go Guardian. Mm-hmm. I do. I do. All right, here comes Malia. Let's see what she has to say. Buenos dias, Malia. How are you? Um, Malia, can you hear me first of all this morning? Yeah. So, Malia, your Go Guardian says to me, check this out, that you have been idle for 109 hours and 23 minutes. So try to refresh it or something if you can. I don't know what that means. 109 hours, though. It might be a record. Okay. All right. While Malia's trying to fix that. Okay, you guys. So we're gonna start a new unit today. And I am going to give you some time, I'm hoping, to maybe finish up stuff for Unit 4 if you have not already. And things that were that are due for second quarter. We're in second quarter, you guys. And I hope y'all had a great break and were able to rest and maybe do some things that were fun. So let's talk a little bit about Spain. And other than the fact that they speak Spanish, do we know what continent they're on, you guys? What do we know about Spain, Malia? We talked about football and soccer, and we talked about, maybe we're not sure of anything about Spain. And that's an okay answer as well. What do you think, Malia? What do you know about Spain? Anything? Okay. All right. Well, good. I'm glad. So let's go ahead and get started. And let me see. Let me switch me up here. Okay. Can you guys check out my background real quick? Because I'm going to get out of the way for a minute. Okay. All right. Take a look. Take a look at my background. Maybe I'll stand over here. Okay. So can you identify what continent this is, you guys? You got this boot looking country here. Yeah. What continent is this? Can y'all tell? Yeah, it's Europe. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good job. Okay. So what we have red here, right, you guys, is Spain. Okay. So Spain is in the southwest part of the European continent. Okay. And then this other little bitty country here to the west is going to be Portugal. So what you see in red is Spain. So it's not very big, but historically played a huge role in the world. There were big ship builders and had armadas and, colonized the Americas, right? And so historically they were a big deal. Okay. All right. So we'll get into Spain some more. I'm not sure what my Zoom is doing. So you guys, if it's giving you grief, let me know. I think it's the wrong setting. I don't know why, but we'll just roll with it. Okay, so let's take a look up here, clase. Hoy es martes, el 14 octubre, right? It is Tuesday, the 14th of October. You being here in class today tells me that you know what your schedule is for the rest of the day. If you're not sure, make sure you check the bulletin board and Canvas. Y vamos a explorar la España. So we're going to look at Spain a little bit today. Para empezar unidad 5, in order to start unit 5, que va a hablar de la salud, del cuerpo, de los sentidos, y de la higiene. So you guys, what we're going to talk about this unit is health and our body parts, right? And our senses, listening, hearing, tasting, seeing, and all of that, and hygiene. Okay. Now, I'm not going to lie. Unit 5 is kind of tricky. Okay. So we, clase, are going to need to be very flexible. Okay. You with me, Brooklyn? We're going to need to be very flexible during unit 5. I'm going to do some skipping around. I'm going to try to shorten some things and like condense stuff. Okay. So we need to be flexible with unit 5. Okay. And so then my question here is, ¿Ya terminaste el proyecto Afro-Latino? Have you finished your Afro-Latino project? If not, again, hopefully at the end, I'll give you some work time today to give you some time to work on that. Okay, so any questions about what we're doing today? All right, let me get your attention. Jamarian, you with me? Malia, Arshad, Brooklyn, I see y'all, your eyes are on something else, right? But we need to get started here today. So for unit 4 that we just finished and for second quarter, okay, you should have completed the direct and indirect object pronoun practice sheet and the yo-go verbs practice sheet, and then of course our project. Okay, just touching base with you there. Okay, Brooklyn, you with me? See? Okay, bueno. Okay. Let me get my act together here. All right, so just a bit of trivia, you guys. Like I said, we're going to start talking about Spain for a little bit today. If you can check out my screen. Spain is considered a constitutional monarchy, right? A monarchy meaning that they have a king and a queen and a royal family. And his name happens to be King Felipe. And so it kind of, a constitutional monarchy really just means that the king at this stage is more of a figurehead, but he is consulted on government affairs, right? He has to work together with the president of the country to a limited degree, but they do have a royal family still, right? So a lot of times, thank you, Brooklyn. A lot of times, you know, people think, oh, it's just in England where you have like, you know, Princess Diana or Prince William, you know, King Charles or whoever, right? But there are European countries that still have a monarchy, okay? And again, they're just basically figureheads and aren't really too involved in the day-to-day of the governance, okay, of the country. Okay, so what we're going to start out with today is a little bit of a video, okay? And you all are going to need to answer some questions, so I need y'all to pay attention. And this is a time lapse thing, so it's kind of sped up. You'll need to be kind of paying attention to the place names, et cetera, okay? All right, so take a look. Make sure that you can hear. There aren't very many questions, but you still need to kind of pay attention in order to answer them. So what we're looking at here is actually the royal palace. This is where the king and his family live, in apartments in this, you know, they don't occupy the whole building, obviously, just a part of the building, right? But this would be the palace for them. Okay, so let's watch. This is time lapse. Okay. So did you pick up where the Palacio Real is? Did you figure out what city it was in? Was it in Barcelona, Madrid, or Valencia? A, B, or C? Make your guess in chat. Okay. Malia, Jo Marion, Brooklyn? A, B, or C? Barcelona, Madrid, or Valencia? Okay, Brooklyn. Jo Marion, what's your answer? All right. So I'm going to go with your majority. Most of you said Madrid. So let's see if you were right. Yay, Madrid. Okay, muy bien. Okay, so where is that cathedral? It's called La Sagrada Familia. Was it Barcelona, Sevilla, or Madrid? What'd you say? A, B, or C? Marion? Okay. Anybody else? La Sagrada Familia. A, B, or C? Did you catch it? Okay, muy bien. So you guys are telling me A. So let's see if you're right. Barcelona. Yay. Okay. More or less, make a guess. How many museums does Madrid have that were shown in the video? There's tons of museums in Madrid, but did you catch how many were in the video? 1, 3, or 2? A, B, or C? All right. You guys are telling me 3 of them in the video. And you're right. There's tons of museums in Madrid, you guys, in all of Spain. Okay, they're very art oriented. You guys maybe have heard of Pablo Picasso. He was a Spanish artist, famous one. Okay, I have a question for you. What did you guys notice about their architecture? How would you describe their architecture? What did you see in that video? Let me hear from you. Marion, Malia, Arshad. What did you all see in that video about their architecture? Did you see a lot of old stuff? Did you see a lot of new stuff? Did you see a lot of weird stuff? What did you see? It feels old. Okay. Anybody else? It is old, actually. But they also have a lot of new construction as well. A lot of strangely shaped buildings. I don't know if you know, especially that very last one that they showed us that almost looked like a flower or something. That's kind of one of the things that they're known for, the Spanish, is their odd architecture. And they were conquered by the Muslims. They're pretty close to Africa, so they were conquered by the Muslims for about 900 years ish. And so a lot of their architecture is very Arabic, very Muslim. So it's a mixture of a lot of different things, modern, a lot of Arabic, and a lot of just old Spanish. Okay. All right. You guys ready to get started? See or no? See? Okay. So here in just a second, I'm going to ask you to join me in Canvas. So give me a minute. And I realize that it's Monday morning, or Monday for us anyway, after a long break. But guys, I need you to wakey, come talk to me. I don't like talking to myself much. Okay. All right. Can you meet me in Canvas, please? And we're going to start off easy, right? You guys, we're going to start off with talking about our body parts, because like I said, this unit is about health and hygiene and how we feel and those kinds of things. So we need to be able to have a point of reference, right? I'm still waiting on my computer. Apologies. So please join me in Canvas. Go to Unit 5. Unidad 5. I would share my screen, but it's going to jump. But let's just see what we can do. Okay. So Unidad 5, you should see our objectives. I can identify parts of the body and describe senses. Okay. Hearing, smelling, tasting, etc., etc. So go ahead and click on these guided notes. Let's make sure that they open for you. Okay. You can complete it in Canvas, or I put a list here for you. You can make your own copy, whichever you prefer. And, it's pretty simple. You guys are going to type in English. Okay. So give me a thumbs up when you're ready to go, because I'm going to put a link in the chat as well. Remember, you guys, okay, Arshad's ready. Who else is ready? Malia, you with me today? I can't see your face. Who else is ready besides Arshad? Okay, looks like Brooklyn's ready. Jamarian, you ready? Okay, and Malia's ready. All right. I'm going to put, you guys, a link in the chat. You'll need to open another tab. Okay, there's your link. We're going to work through this together. And as usual, if I go too slow or if I go too fast, let me know. Okay, so click on the link in the chat, please. Make sure it opens in another tab for you so that you can work in the vocab and still work in the Nearpod and, see my Zoom screen. Okay, I have Brooklyn and Arshad. Malia and Jamarian, you with me? Are you in the near pod? All right. Okay, you guys. So you can see my Zoom screen, but you're also going to need to participate in the near pod. And so make sure that you have a way of seeing my Zoom screen while you type into your notes, into your vocab list. Okay. All right. So our first word, you guys, el cuerpo. El cuerpo is the body, like our human body, el cuerpo. And, you know, it comes from the similar word like Marine Corps. CORPS is how we spell it in English, like the Marine Corps. Okay. And it comes from like, you know, corpse, right? Body. So el cuerpo is the Spanish word. Again, if I go too fast or too slow, you need to holler at me. Okay. Okay. So in your notes again, I think you should see this question. ¿Qué te duele? ¿Qué te duele? So what hurts or what is bothering you, right? What is hurting you? ¿Qué te duele? What hurts? Okay. And then our response, you guys, is me duele. My blank hurts, my leg hurts, my head hurts, my whatever. We'll have to fill in the blank, right? So, ¿qué te duele? What hurts you, right? Because this TE refers to you, or what is hurting you, literally. And then me duele, my head hurts, or whatever. My hand hurts, my foot hurts, whatever hurts. Notice too, you guys, that in the response, notice how the word order is different from English. Okay. We would say my head hurts. Okay. But here we're going to say me duele. What hurts me, and then fill in the blank, is my head. Okay. So it's a different word order. So be careful when you are trying to respond to something. Know that whatever it is that's hurting you comes at the end of the sentence when you're responding, right? ¿Qué te duele? Me duele. Okay. All right. So real quick, this morning, esta mañana, this morning, Brooklyn, Arshad, Jomarian, or Malia. ¿Qué te duele? ¿Qué te duele? How do we say nothing? What's our word for nothing? Do y'all remember that word? It starts with an N. Nada. Okay. So tell me, I'd like for you to unmute, but tell me in a full sentence, my blank hurts. How do we respond in a full sentence? ¿Qué te duele, Arshad? ¿Qué te duele, Jomarian? Malia, ¿qué te duele? Brooklyn, in a full sentence? You want to unmute, Brooklyn? You can. Malia? Come on, you guys. Wakey, wakey. I'm asking you a question. Okay, so we got to be careful. Looking at the screen, looking at the Nearpod screen or the Zoom screen, remember, you guys, me duele is the beginning of the sentence, right? So if nothing hurts you, where do we put? There you go. Me duele nada. Me duele nada. Okay. So that's my point, you guys. This is why we have to practice. Arshad, ¿qué te duele? Jomarian, ¿qué te duele? Tell me. Even if you answer it in English, as long as I know that you get the sentence structure, that you understand. ¿Qué te duele, Arshad? ¿Qué te duele, Jomarian? Okay, good. Yeah, very good, Joe Marion. Arshad, ¿qué te duele? What would you say? Okay, good. All right, muy bien. Muy bien. Okay, my leg. Me duele my leg, right? The leg. All right, muy bien. Me duele. That's how it has to start. Okay, muy bien. Okay, let's go on. All right, in your notes now. La cabeza is our head. Okay, so me duele la cabeza. I have a headache. My head hurts. And then notice that there's more than one word for hair. And it depends on where we are in the world and what we're doing with our hair. So for now, just don't worry about it. Just know that these are hair, el pelo or el cabello. Okay. So we have hair on our head, right? Pelo sobre la cabeza or el cabello sobre la cabeza. Just like in English, you guys, it's singular. Okay. The hair on my head, right? It's singular, el pelo or el cabello, right? All right, moving down the body, I want you all to notice that we're going to try to move down the body, right? So we have el cuello. El cuello is our neck. Los hombros are the shoulders. The shoulders, okay? So you can have a singular shoulder, right? That hurts you. El hombro and los hombros, okay? So el cuello is our neck. Los hombros are the shoulders. Okay, again, moving down the body. I said el pecho is our chest. So you guys ever work out? You know what a pectoral is when you work out your pecs? What is that? What are they talking about, right, Arshad? You heard that word? Well, this is why we call them that. Yeah, that's why this is pecho, like pectoral, okay, our chest. And then we have los brazos. Los brazos are arms, which is where we get the word embrace, right? We hug with our arms, embrace, brazo, okay? Los brazos. You with me, Malia? Okay. Bueno, again, if I go too fast or too slow, let me know. Okay, match them up, you guys. In the Nearpod. Here we go. It's timed. Do your best. All right. Keep going. Brooklyn, are you in the Nearpod? There you go. All right, Malia, good job, Joe Marion. All right, good job, you guys. All right, so let's see what you did. You should have, good job, you guys. El pecho, chest, cabeza, head, el cuello, neck, el pelo, hair, el hombro, shoulder, and brazo, arm, like an embrace. Okay, muy bien. Good job, you guys. Okay, let's go on. Okay, back to our vocab list, you guys. Again, moving down the body. El codo is our elbow, right? El codo is an elbow. And la mano is our hand. So we manipulate, right? M-A-N, we manipulate things, right, with our hands. Okay. So mano, manipulate. That's where we get that word from. So elbow and hand. Okay, our wrist, la muñeca, and our fingers, los dedos, kind of like our digits, right? We use that word in English. So la muñeca y los dedos. So wrist and fingers. Wrist and fingers. Okay. Again, we have two words here. Depending upon where we are. So we have el estómago y la barriga. La barriga or el estómago. You guys, what is that? What's your guess? Stomach. There you go. So your stomach or your belly, right? El estómago and la barriga. Guys, it'll be Christmas before we know it, right? And here in Kansas City, I don't know about you all, but like we have 80-degree weather here, and it's October. It's really no fun. I'm ready for fall. Come on, 80 degrees. I'm done with that. Okay. Again, moving down the body. Okay. La espalda is what? What's your guess, you guys, based on the image? La espalda. Our back. Very good. Our spine, sort of. Yeah, our back. La espalda. And la cadera is our hip, our hips. Okay. La cadera. Back or spine and hips. Okay. So in this next one, you guys are going to need to be able to see your vocab list. So you need to go tab to tab, back and forth. And you're going to open a text tool here in just a second. And you're going to label the parts that you see in Spanish. Okay. But label only the parts that are listed in the text box that pops up. And you only have 3 minutes. So let's see who can get the most parts or who gets finished the fastest. Okay, so let's kind of compete with one another. So make sure your stuff is ready. Remember, you're labeling in Spanish, of course. Let's see who can get the most correct the fastest. Okay, 3 minutes, you guys. All right, here we go. Use your vocab. Arshad, Brooklyn, Joe Marion. You only got 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Let's compete. Only label the parts listed in the text box. Okay. You see them there in English. Tell me where they go. You're not doing all of the figure, you guys. There's 6 words in English at the bottom of the picture. Those are the only ones you're doing in Spanish. You're not doing the whole image, just the 6 in English. We've got 40 seconds left. Twenty seconds. Ten seconds. Okay, so submit, you guys. Okay, so let's see who got the most. It's looking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, looks like Malia. Good job, Malia. Muy bien. You got them all labeled. Muy bien first. Good job, Malia. Nicely done. Okay, you guys, good job. Bueno. Okay. All right, let's go on. So let's finish our list or move on anyway down the body. So our knee is la rodilla, la rodilla. Again, that double L sometimes is pronounced as a J. So you could hear it as la rodilla, right? La rodilla. And then the entire leg is la pierna, la pierna. So knee and leg. Okay, you with us, Jo Marion? Are you typing? All righty. Then we have ankle, el tobillo or tobillo, el tobillo, and our foot is pie, el pie. So think about like, I know it's a stretch, but it's where it comes from, like pedestrian. Like if you're a pedestrian, that means you're like somebody who's walking on foot. So that's actually where it comes from. They just somewhere along the line dropped the D. So ankle and foot, tobillo and pie. Okay, then we have ears. And the word for ears is las orejas. Okay, las orejas. However, there are those places that call it los oídos. So los oídos or las orejas are ears. Okay, now what's interesting is oídos literally means listeners. Okay, because what we're going to see here in just a minute is the verb to hear, yeah, is oír. So it's like the things that hear, okay? Actual word is orejas. And then our throat, you guys, we had neck, cuello, but our throat is la garganta, right? So cuello, the back of our neck, but the front of our neck would be la garganta, like our throat. Okay, so that's where we swallow, and so that's a different word, right? Garganta. Okay, let's look at these instructions, okay? Grab and drop each word to create a list based on where they can be found on a body. For example, the word head would come first on the list, right? Up at the head, and toes would come last on the list, right? So grab and drop each word to create a list based on where they can be found on the body. So on our vocab list, we started with the head, we've worked our way down to the toes. So you're putting them in order in the body. Does that make sense, you guys? Yeah? Okay. So you're just dragging and dropping, you're creating a list. Where are they on the body? You don't even have to put them on the little figure, you can just create a list, what comes first on our body, second, third, whatever, okay? Malia? We're creating a list based on where they are found on the body. Yep. You're just creating a list. Some of you are labeling, and that's fine. But make sure that when you label, yeah, that they're in the proper order, top down. And when you're done, make sure you submit so I know when you're done. There's no timer on this one. Okay, when you're happy with your list, go ahead and submit. Okay, Arshad, gracias. Brooklyn. Okay, Jamarian, don't forget to submit when you're happy with what you got. So what comes first on the body, starting from the top down, right? From our head to our toes. Jamarian, are you done? Go ahead and submit if you're done. Almost done, Malia? Okay. All right, moving. So let's see. You could have said, you guys, starting with las orejas, the ears, because they come first if you work from our head down. Then la garganta, our throat. Okay. And then if we had the knee or the leg. So I say the leg comes first, right? Because we have a thigh before we get to the knee. So you could have said la pierna, the leg, and then la rodilla, right? The knee. And then your ankle, el tobillo, and then your foot, el pie, right? So orejas, garganta, pierna, rodilla, tobillo, and pie. Okay. All right. Good job, you guys. Let's keep on keeping on. All right. Muy bien. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me check something here. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Bueno. Okay. All right. So our next one, you guys, is we're going to focus on the face. Okay. So in your notes, la cara, that C-A-R-A word, cara, is our face. So what are the parts of our face? Okay. Las partes de la cara. Okay. So we've already had cabeza. So make sure that you have cara for face, la cara. Okay. El ojo or los ojos are eyes. Okay. And then our eyebrow, I don't know if that's on the list, I don't remember, would be la ceja. La ceja. If it's not on the list, that's cool. You can skip it. If you want to add it, then you can try and add it. Okay. El ojo or los ojos. And then our eyebrow is ceja, la ceja. Okay, our next one, we had pelo or cabello. We had that one. So our next one is nose. La nariz. La nariz. Now, I got a question for you. Looking at the word nariz, what is odd about that word? What do we need to remember that might be a little different about that word? Does it end in an O? Does it end in an A? What's the problem with this word in terms of remembering if it's what? What's odd about it? Can y'all tell me? Malia, Arshad? What's odd about the word nariz? Brooklyn? Come on, y'all, I need you to focus with me. What's odd about the word nariz? Yes. Yes, it ends in a Z, right? Instead of like an O or an A or an E or something like that, right? So it's not obvious to us if it's masculine or feminine, right? So we have to remember that it's going to be feminine. La nariz, okay? Okay, let's keep going. We have la lengua, our tongue. And that might be easy to remember, like if somebody is bilingual, lingual meaning they speak two languages or something. So lengua, language, right? It's all comes from the same type thing. And then we have los dientes, teeth, like dentist, dentures, right? D-E-N-T, dientes. And our molars are muelas, las muelas. La lengua, los dientes, las muelas. Okay. Again, if I go too fast, if you need me to go back a slide, just speak up. All right. The last thing I think on your list, you guys, are verbs. And these verbs have to do with what they call los sentidos, which are our senses. So we have hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and seeing. But these are actions, right? To hear, the action of hearing, the action of smelling, of tasting, of touching, and seeing, right? These are actions. So we have oír, to hear, oler, to smell, saborear. It's a hard word to say. Saborear is to taste. Tocar is to touch, and ver is to see. Now, it's not only, you guys, that these are strange words, but some of them are regular and some of them are not. So, like I said at the beginning of class, Unit 5 has a lot of strange, sort of loose ends. We're going to do our best to keep it simple. Okay. For the moment, know that these are verbs, they're actions, know that what they mean. Okay. Okay. The next thing with these verbs in your vocab list that I would like you to do, okay, and you decide. You can highlight them, you can put an asterisk, you can put an exclamation. I don't care what you do, okay? But you need to make a note that oír is a yo-go verb. Okay, it's irregular. So the yo form is going to be oigo, right? It's that yo-go. Okay, we practiced that last unit. You're going to see them all year. You should know at some point when I say such and such is a yo-go verb, that's how it works. Okay. It is a yo-go verb. And when all of the other forms, except for nosotros, the I becomes a Y. So for now, make sure that you realize with an asterisk, highlight something in your notes, it is irregular. Okay. Irregular. And you can see I have a little, what's your jigger, little arrow there. Okay. The rest of them are going to be regular. They're normal ER verbs or AR verbs. Okay. So I have a question for you. Let's take a look at this verb to taste, saborear. So first step is this. Who can tell me what kind of verb saborear is? Is it an AR verb, an ER verb, or an IR verb? So let's just start easy. Is it an AR verb, an ER verb, or an IR verb? Tell me in chat. Saborear. Is it AR, ER, or IR verb? In the chat, please. Quickly. Okay, thank you, Jo Marion. Thank you, Brooklyn. Malia and Arshad. Is it an ER, AR, or IR verb? Malia? What do you think? Saborear. Saborear. Arshad, what do you say? Okay. If you're telling me it's an AR verb, you're absolutely right. Okay. It's an AR verb. So how do we find the root or the stem? When we're going to use this in a sentence, if I want to say I taste or you taste or he tastes or we taste, how do we find the root or the stem? What do we have to do? Jo Marion, Malia, what do we do to find the root or the stem of a verb? We've identified it's an AR verb. So what is my first step? What do I get rid of? Arshad, what do I get rid of? How do I find the root, Jo Marion? Arshad, come on, you guys, make a guess. Or tell me I don't know, but don't leave me hanging. Thank you. We get rid of the AR, right? We get rid of the AR. So check it out. That is our weird root right here. Okay. So if I want to say I taste, okay, it's going to look something like this. Okay, I get rid of my AR. That's my weird root. And I'm going to add an O because that's the ending that goes with yo, right? Saboreo. Yo saboreo. I taste. Right? Very odd looking word. Okay. Let's take a look real quick, you guys, at to see. Okay. First of all, what kind of verb is to see? Ver. an ER. So if we're going to use it in a sentence, we need to find the root or the stem. Well, if it's an ER verb, that means that we get rid of the ER, right? And that leaves me with just the letter V. And then we have to apply, you guys, our ER verb endings, which are O, ES, E, hemos, and N. So how do I do that? I would say yo ve. Oh, yo veo. Okay. Tú ves. You see. Okay. So some of these are really odd looking to us. And that's one of the things that we need to be aware of during this unit. There's going to be a lot of odd, random things. Okay. I should get out of this. Okay. Well, okay. Let's go on. Okay. Take a look at the screen, your Nearpod screen, please. Make sure that you can see your vocab list. And let's look at our instructions. Which body parts, and remember, we have now face. We have parts of the face, right? Partes de la cara. Which body parts do we use for the following senses? Okay. You can reply with the Spanish word or with an image. Okay. So make sure that you are posting in the correct column. So you're going to come down here and, for example, in the drop down, it says tocar, right? You guys know how to do this. Okay. So you're going to pick your column. You're either going to put in a Spanish word or you're going to put in an image. Which body parts do we use for the following senses? Oír, oler, saborear, tocar, and ver. And start at will. Okay, go ahead. Use your vocab list. If you're allowed, you can search for an image and pop it in. Which body parts do we use for the following senses? Oír, oler, saborear, tocar, and ver. Just make sure that you post them in the right column. Okay. Keep it up. Good, Malia. I like that. Good, Jamarian. Very good. Oh, I like that. Good. Good job, Rashad. Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I haven't seen you on our board yet. Yeah, good job. Muy bien. Muy bien. Very good. So, Brooklyn, what body part would you use for saborear? We're looking for body parts. Okay, another 30 seconds or so, you guys. What body part? Very good. All right, good job. Okay. Muy bien. Muy bien. Okay, good job, you guys. All right, nicely done. Nicely done. Okay. So we only have about a minute left. I think we're gonna stop there today. Okay, so you can go ahead and back out of that Nearpod for today. Good job. And let's make sure, you guys, that we save or submit your, if you got them all filled in, then go ahead and submit your vocab list. If not, I will later today, I'll put the slides in Canvas and you can go back and fill them in. Okay. If you manage to get them done during class, I mean, that's why we do it together, right? Go ahead and submit. All righty. Any questions? Okay, I got 2 of you submitted. Very good. All right. Be sure you know what is tomorrow's schedule. That's all I'm going to say about that. Make sure you know what tomorrow's schedule is. And again, just reminders, the project, the direct and indirect object pronoun practice sheet, and the yogo verb practice sheet, because those will never go away, right? You guys, we're just going to keep building. So we want to make sure that we get those practices done. Okay. All right. Any questions? Preguntas? No questions? All right. Great job today, you guys. Have a lovely day. Nos vemos. Adios a todos. Wakey, wakey. Have a great day, though.